Welcome back once again to the Madison Research Essentials Toolkit. In this tutorial, we will build upon our understanding of the concept of authority and examine how authority is both constructed and contextual. As we learned in the previous tutorial, authority is an important element when determining whether or not a resource is credible or trustworthy. We can evaluate authoritative work in a variety of different ways, including where it came from, who it was created for, and how it was meant to be used. For example, if you were packing clothes for a weekend trip, you might visit the Weather Channel's website for forecast information for your destination. However, if you were writing a scholarly paper on weather trends over the last 2 decades, you would want to rely on a more authoritative source. A scholar within the field of meteorology would offer far more authoritative information, fit for your academic purposes. Determining the context in which we'll use the information is important. We might ask ourselves the following questions. Is the author or creator of a work authoritative based on his or her personal experiences or academic credentials? Is the research authoritative based on clear descriptions of the research methods that were used? Is the research authoritative due to the process of evaluation used before it is published? Let's consider what it means to be an authority by considering the social media site Facebook. You might check your news feed multiple times a day, upload photos, videos, comment on others' postings, and consider yourself an expert due to your personal experience. If you are writing a paper on, say, the social constructs of Facebook, you would not need to do any formal research, right? Wrong. Although your personal experience makes you knowledgeable, there are individuals who have studied and spent significant time researching social media and are considered to be experts due to the credentialing process. Let's take a look at this article entitled An Exploratory Study of College Students' Fanning Behavior on Facebook. When we examine the authors, we can see that they are affiliated with the Department of Design and Merchandising in the College of Applied Human Sciences at Colorado State University. These individuals' credentials would make them authoritative. Therefore, the author or creator of a work is considered authoritative based on academic credentialing. In a university or academic setting, credentials count. The authority that you have is not determined by you. Rather, it is determined by the authority that you have constructed or built and the fact that others understand your credentials. We would consider this authority as constructed since it is built on a foundation of knowledge that was gained through academic endeavor and the fact that others acknowledge your credentials. Within each discipline, there are also certain methods and procedures that are used to complete tasks that ensure reliability and consistent results. A researcher within the field of genetics, for instance, will be considered more authoritative if he or she lists the various research methods that were used when conducting an experiment. Solid research should be able to be copied or replicated. Therefore, research becomes authoritative when clear descriptions of the research methods used are provided. Finally, one way that the authority of a work is assured is through a process called peer review. Let's begin by defining what a peer is. A peer is someone who has a similar background, social, or educational status. Your friends are your social peers. However, as you advance within your selected major, your academic peers will change. For example, if you are a psychology major, your history and business friends will no longer be your academic peers, even though they are still your social peers, since they are advancing their knowledge in different academic disciplines. The process of peer review examines both your academic credentialing and the soundness of your research methodology. In short, peer review is a process by which other people, or peers, within similar education and discipline-specific backgrounds, examine and review what you have researched and written to verify that you have used sound research methods. Peer reviewers help to raise questions or points in need of clarification that are similar to questions you might encounter if you were presenting your research in person to an audience of professionals within your field of study. An article within, say, the Journal of Social Psychology would undergo the peer review process, while an article in Time would not. Whether or not you need peer-reviewed resources depends on the purpose and intended audience of your research. For example, if you were gathering general background information on James Madison's life, such as the years of his presidency, you would not necessarily need to rely on peer-reviewed resources. However, if you are examining how Madison's publication of the Federalist Essays impacted the ratification of the Constitution from a legal perspective, you would rely on peer-reviewed material. In this case, we would be examining authority in terms of context. We now know that authority is both constructed and contextual, and that there is a credentialing process, a reliance on sound research methodology, and a peer review process that is required prior to publication in scholarly journals. This tutorial should have provided you with important information related to authority. Do you still have questions? Feel free to use the Ask the Library link on the library homepage to connect with a librarian. We are here to help.